Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the OC Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, the businesses, the activities that make our area such a great place to live. I'm a real estate agent. I love everything our area has to offer. As somebody who has relocated here, it has been so awesome to figure out like what are the cool spots to go to, what are the secret finds. And ironically, today I actually have somebody with me who is telling us about places to go to from here, but she brings a whole wealth of knowledge that I think a lot of people in our area and really anywhere will find really, really helpful. Today I have Jamie with Jamie's Travel Tips.
Hi.
And hi, Jamie. I will let you speak for yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about like what you do.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will start with saying my background is in hospitality and tourism management. So that's what my actual degree is in. I had gone to Disney World and did a Disney college program when I was younger, but restaurants are really like where I thrived and where I spent most of my time. But once I had a family, spending all 50 hours a week in a restaurant just didn't sound very fun.
Yeah.
And so I quit my job and became like a stay-at-home mom, and I dabbled in content creation for a while. But then just about a year, almost 2 years ago now, so it was like October 2023, I found a page where she was teaching you how to travel on credit card points. And I thought this girl was the only person in the whole world teaching us how to do this. And I just like fell completely down the rabbit hole on her page. And so having the background that I do, though, I think I picked up the hobby really quickly because I understood different airline brands and different hotels. And so everything just came really naturally to me. So learning how to, and I love numbers. I'm like such a numbers nerd person.
Yeah.
And so learning how to go and stay at these different hotels and use credit card points just blew my mind. And so when I, back in the day, got my very first Southwest credit card, I used that welcome bonus. I'm sure, you get like 50,000 points when you sign up. And I thought I was rich and I was so excited. And then I used that same Southwest credit card for like the last 15 years. And I would put all my spending on it thinking I was really hacking the system, and I would get 1 or 2 free flights a year. And I thought that that was great. So then when I discovered this, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I know I could teach people how to do this. Wow. And so I learned it in October of 2023, and then I started my page in December.
Okay, so I love that we're diving into all of this because I, for one, have an Amex and I do what you just said. Like, okay. I am like, okay, cool. Like, I can pay for our flights to go somewhere. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yes.
But it sounds like I am just at the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, it's so deep.
Yeah, and I have had friends that have told me that there are different systems to using the credit cards, and I've never dived into it. So I'm so excited you're here to share more about a little bit how this works and how people can find out a lot more from you, because you travel a lot.
Yeah, I tend to be one of the people who operates under the mindset of like, I really love the dopamine hit from traveling. And so I really like short, 3-4 day trips opposed to saving up all of, my husband's PTO for like once or twice for one big trip for the year. So I try to take a lot of little trips throughout. And the great thing about living where we live is there's so much to do within a 2 to 4 hour radius even, so you can be in the mountains, you can be at the beach, you can go all kinds of places. And so that's really one of the things that helped me travel in California more, because once I moved out here, I was working all the time. And so I wasn't really going anywhere. Yeah. And then once I became a stay-at-home mom and then COVID, like I still wasn't exploring. And so I feel like I moved out here to this beautiful state and I didn't get to see anything. Yeah. And then, being single income in Southern California also limited where we could go and what we could do.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have to pay for hotels now, it really changes. It gives you so many more options.
I think a lot of people are going to be happy to hear that because it is expensive to live here and we do have so many great attractions.
Seriously.
I mean, I always think like in Orange County alone, you could probably do a staycation in like 50 different places.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to live in Anaheim, and when we did, we did a staycation like in Orange, and we went to a baseball game, and we went to downtown Orange, and we went antiquing, and we just like, and it's right in our backyard, and it's still just a place where, you can just spend so much more time just by sleeping there, by being closer. And so we did, and same thing, we've done Huntington Beach where we spend, 2 nights out here, and even Disneyland, being able to stay at the parks instead of like that long day. And you're just like, oh, now I got to drive home.
Yeah.
And being able to just stay across the street. And it just makes that whole experience much easier.
Well, and you have young kids. You said a 3 and a 6-year-old, right?
Yes.
And so for them, they probably get so excited about, packing a little bag and knowing that they're going to sleep somewhere new.
My son, it's like his favorite thing. Even we just went to Oceanside a couple of weeks ago. We went during Labor Day, and my 3-year-old the whole time was like, I love staying in hotels. And I'm like, me too, kid. Me too.
Don't have to make your bed.
Yeah, don't have to do anything.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah.
So what is a little bit more about this like credit card system? What do you want to share? How do you like even get started?
So there's so many different ways to get started. And I think how most people get started is they, open up one specific credit card for an airline. I think that's like the gateway for most people. And they think that that's like the only way because they're going to just fly that airline. They want the free bags with that airline. They want the perks of early check-in or whatever else the card offers. And so that's really, I think, how most people get started in this hobby. Technically, it's how I got started. And then they just think that that's their only option. And so the cool thing is a lot of banks like Amex and Citi and others and Chase actually have transfer partners to different airlines and hotels. And that's where you really can maximize because the airline and hotel cards, they don't usually come with like that great of multipliers, meaning, you're just going to earn 1% on all your purchases. So if you go and buy a new couch for $2,500, you're just getting 2,500 points. But if you purchase that couch, with other different methods of stacking your points or looking for different retailers, by using the right cards, you can get 2x to 5x points on that. And then you're getting 2,500 times 5. So now you've just earned 10,000 points on this one purchase if you know how to do it.
Oh, wow.
So using the strategy is really what's going to help you. And I think a lot of business owners do this naturally because they have such high spends. Mm-hmm. But for us, like regular moms and normal people, we're not spending tens of thousands of dollars on advertising or gas for our company or whatever it might be. So being able to really strategize how you're earning more points per dollar on your groceries, on your gas, on your Target runs, on your Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how it all really can add up.
That's amazing, honestly. It's gamifying shopping a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like extreme couponing for hotels and flights. Like I almost think of it like Tetris. Like I really like putting all the pieces together and being like, okay, this card is going to get me max value, and it's really fun.
I love that. I've always been the type of person where, while it is nice to get like a physical gift or have a physical thing, the experiences and the memories are, you can't really put a value on it.
For sure.
So for you to be able to like take your family on all these great adventures, make these memories for your kids, just even give them that opportunity and then to like share this with other people.
Yeah.
Must be super fun for you.
It is. Growing up, we lived in the Midwest and my grandparents would take us on a summer road trip every summer, but it was like, we had the 2-liter bottles sitting in our house that we were putting our coins in throughout, all throughout the year and then cashing that in. And like, I have very vivid memories of that being like how we funded our vacations. Yeah. I remember going, we went to Mall of America a few times and it's in Minnesota. So it's like an 8-hour drive, but we'd get there and this is the 90s. It's not like we were pre-booking our hotel rooms. We'd get there and we would drive and I would get out of the car and I would go in and I would ask them what the nightly rate is. And then we would go to the Hampton Inn and then, the next one. And so we would go and like shop around and ask, based on whatever was the cheapest. And I just, I don't want that to be like how my kids remember vacations. Like as a kid, I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
But as an adult now, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be like shopping around for the cheapest hotel all the time, and I want to have, and now it's crazy because I'm staying in hotels that cost 5 times what I would have paid cash for before, and I'm not paying anything.
I love that.
It's really awesome.
We took similar trips. I remember like going on like our tour to look at colleges in North Carolina, and we would just like pull over and like go to the Red Roof Inn and the Comfort Inn. Yes. And then I was like, oh, that one looks a little, we can spend like $10 more.
Yes.
That is so funny. And you're right. It was a different time for sure. But, and obviously it made us stronger, but to be able to have that like knowledge and know that it'd be so much more fun for your kids to have it a different way.
Yeah. And for me to have it I want to go and stay in the nicer bed and have turn down service and all those things too. So there's nothing wrong with wanting that as well.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, you do deserve it, first of all. But it is nice to be able to like pamper yourself and do it in this way. Yeah. So no, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but you're opening a bunch of different credit cards.
Yep.
Does that have like any sort of negative impact that you're aware of or?
On your credit. So this is a great question. And this is what everybody always is concerned about. So one of the first things I'll say is like, I wouldn't be able to keep opening cards if it was impacting my score negatively. So that's the first thing to think about. The second thing is like, So yeah, you're going to treat your credit score like gold because you want to keep opening cards. And so the biggest thing, of course, is making your payments on time. Obviously not going into debt. You're treating it like a debit card, you know, truly just using it for those things that you're already out there spending money on.
Okay.
My best friend was like, hey, I'm getting braces for my daughter. Should I use the financing at the place, or should I, you know, put it on my 0% interest card that has 0% for 12 months? I'm like, well, clearly put it on your 0% card, or, you know, like there are different options. So yeah, I think that that's like the one big thing. So don't go into debt over anything. You're not overextending your purchases. The credit cards you open typically have a minimum spend within 90 days. So spend $4,000 within 90 days, 6,000. Some of them are 30,000. So obviously, like, pick what's going to work for you in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is what am I trying to say? The hit that your score will take when you do have a credit card application, it only makes up like 10 to 15% of your score. So what I've noticed is my score will drop probably, I'd say about like 8 to 10 points whenever I open a new card. And then the month later, within 2 months, it's right back up to where it was before. So don't be shocked that you're going to do that. Sometimes what you'll notice, especially if you're someone who doesn't open a lot of cards or hasn't opened a card in a long time, is your average length of card history. So if you've had my Southwest card's been open for 15 years.
Yeah.
So now by opening new cards, it's making that 15-year length, you know, shorter and shorter every time I open a new card. So that is where I see the biggest like negative impact on my score.
Okay.
But that again, only, you know, if in the pie of your credit score, it's such a small percentage. But those carrying the balances, the on-time payments, that's like 65% of your score right there.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The other thing I will say is I never close cards
I was just
that
going to
have
ask
been
you
open.
that. Okay.
Well, so it in terms of the new cards I'm opening, if I have like my Southwest card that's been open for 18 years, I will keep that card open as long as I possibly can because it's keeping that average length of credit history long.
Yeah.
So anything that you have that's old, especially if it doesn't have an annual fee, especially if maybe you can call the bank if it's a card you don't use very often, but it has an annual fee. Sometimes you can call the bank and ask to downgrade it to a different version of the card where there isn't a fee. So
that's
like
cool.
The Venture cards offer that. There's a couple Chase cards that offer that. So you can they call it a product swap. So you swap and then that credit line stays open. Excuse me. Which is what the banks really want to see. So that's one option. And then whenever I open a new card, so say, you know, I want to open, what did we just open? We know we're doing Hawaii. So we've been wanting to get more Hawaiian and Alaska miles because now they've like merged and they're one.
Yeah.
So I went ahead, I opened a Hawaiian card, and say a year from now, I'm like, okay, I used the bonus on this card. I don't see the value in this card. I will probably close that one because it's only been open a year. It's not going to really impact that like length of credit history.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one that I don't really see the value in keeping. Then there's other cards like my Capital One Venture X. Love this card. It's like hands down one of my favorite cards. It will always be in my wallet. It's a little bit more premier. It has a $395 annual fee. However, it comes with a 10,000 point boost every year on your anniversary, which is basically at minimum $100.
Oh, wow.
So that's already like bringing the fee down to $295 in theory. And then it comes with a $300 travel credit that you can use in the portal every year. So
yeah, that makes
you can
sense.
use that for hotels, for rental cars, for flights. I love to use those on rental cars, especially because those are one of the things that are like harder to use your points for. So I always use it for that. And it comes with like a TSA pre-check credit. So there's lots of ways to look at your annual fees and figure out if they're worth it to you to keep it or not. So you mentioned having the Amex. Are you a platinum?
You know what? I'm not sure which degree I am on the Amex.
Platinum or gold?
It's no, it's like the clear card. It looks clear. So I'm not sure what the status is on it, but I know, I mean, I'm always using those points for travel, but it sounds like I could be getting a lot more.
Yeah. So one common, I don't want to call it a mistake because it's definitely still using your points for travel, which is the whole point of the game.
No, teach the tip.
But a lot of people use points like within the travel portal. So you're probably going on to Amex's website, you're booking the flight through Amex's portal. So where you're going to get the most value typically out of your points is you're going to transfer the points out of American Express and into a loyalty program with a different flight with a different airline or hotel company.
Oh, okay.
So for example, American Express has transfer partners. So that's what, all the major banks have different transfer partners. And so American Express, one of theirs is Virgin Atlantic. And you might think like, I never fly Virgin Atlantic, but you fly Delta, for example. Delta and Virgin are actually part of like the same umbrella. And so you can oftentimes find Delta flights on Virgin and then get them at a lower rate. Yes. So
I feel like this is...
Yes, there's lots of different things, lots of different tools.
That's amazing.
The best one, so in terms of like getting over to Europe, let's say, Air France, KLM, their point program is kind of like the best. So you can get flights over to Europe for 25,000 points. If you were to cash out 25,000 points, like let's just say you're like, oh, I want to apply them as a statement credit on my balance, whatever my credit card is, you would get $250. However, you can use 2,500 points and get a $800 flight to Europe. I'm throwing random numbers out there.
You're really making me rethink these statement credits that I've taken.
It's okay. It's okay. We've all done bad things with our credit card points up until now. And Amex, actually, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say their cash rate. So if you just cash out the points with Amex, it's actually less than that. So typically 10,000, I use easy math, 10,000 points is $100. It's 1 cent per point. With Amex, it's like 0.8 cents per point. So you would use 10,000 points and get $80.
Got it.
Instead of even getting 100. So Amex is actually a little bit like penalizing you if you use them for cash back.
Okay, good to know. So don't do no more moving forward.
Yes. Amex does, one of the best hotel partners that they transfer to, though, is Hilton, actually, because they transfer at a 1-to-2 ratio. So if you transfer 10,000 points to Hilton, when they end up in your Hilton account, you actually get 20,000 points.
Okay, good
so
to know.
It doubles when it goes to Hilton, which is great. Hilton is a good one because they don't charge any resort fees or taxes on the rooms that are booked with points.
Oh, wow.
So when you go there and you book the stay on points, you walk away with truly a $0 balance at the end of the day. I mean, you would pay for food or parking, anything, but your actual room is $0.
No, the resort fees get you like every time.
Every time. It's about like $50 a night.
It's a lot.
We just went to Disney World and we used Marriott for that stay, and it was free night certificates and a little bit of points added on top of it. And Marriott's not one of those where you get the resort fees credited. So it was $50 a night. But either way, we spent $50 a night stay at Disney World on property, so you can't beat it.
No, for sure.
But I still was like, oh, I just paid $200. I'm used to paying $0. So,
love that.
Yes, like I have to budget this $200. Yeah.
I was going to say, I just wanted to make one point from a real estate standpoint regarding the opening of credit lines and all of that. So because your credit score will dip a little bit whenever you are opening a card, if you're in the middle of trying to get a loan, just make sure you talk to your lender about like what the breaks are. You don't want to all of a sudden have to be paying more for your house because your credit score dipped 10 points and it put you in a different bucket.
Oh, for sure. And I think, so if you are someone who's like getting ready to buy a house or a car, those are definitely times where you might want to consider figuring out how to get points in a different way.
But I love these tips. And so I am curious though, if you want to share a little bit, like what was the inspiration for you starting your page? You started it about 2 years ago almost.
Yeah. It was really just that like, as a stay-at-home mom, I hated that I always felt like I had to ask my husband for money, and I always had to ask him like if we could book a trip, or I had to ask him to do all these things. And I just know that other people are out there in similar situations, and I loved traveling so much. It was just such a big part of who I was. And my husband didn't really love to travel, and he told me that when like on one of our first dates. But when we first met, I was like, okay, well, it's not the end of the world. Like I'll probably go to Italy once in my life, and I'll just go with my best friend. It's fine. Yeah. And it like didn't impact our relationship, or you know what I mean? And so then when I found that there was this world out there that could give you these things for literally you just stop using your debit card and you just swap it out with using a credit card and learn how to strategize it. And I was like, wow, other people need to learn how to do this too. So that just really was like the driving force for me. And I don't know. I love being able to help people. I always wanted to go back to school and be a professor. And so I guess this was kind of my way of like getting to do that, but staying at home.
Well, and you have the whole hospitality background. So obviously there's that itch inside of you. Yeah. That's really awesome. Yeah. And what do you hope will come of the page? Do you get like endorsements or like does any of that happen? I mean,
yeah, so I'm affiliated with like a credit card company.
Okay.
And so if you use my links to support my page, it's the same offer that you would find if you were to Google the offer. But if you use my link, I get a cash commission from my affiliate company. So I earn my points the same way everyone else does. So if you are out there and you see like other points creators taking these like crazy trips, we all earn our points the same way as you, where we're opening up cards and earning minimum spends and doing that kind of stuff. So, so yeah, I know. We don't get, I mean, like, because also your referral points max out. So I can refer you to a card and get, 15,000 points, let's say, hypothetically, but that caps out at 75,000 points per year that I can use for that card's referral bonus. So even then it's like, it's only going to get you so far.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, there's some creators that have, 250, 500,000 followers. They would be maxing out those referrals really quickly. So there are people out there who teach courses. I have an idea of what I would like to do eventually. I'm not sure I'm ready to share it yet.
Okay. But I love that you're dreaming about it though. Like that's so cool. And like you still have young kids. So.
Exactly. And that is, I not to say that kids hold you back at all, but there is a time factor in life, and we just have to be honest with that.
Yeah.
So when my youngest is in school next year, I think that will open up a lot more time to work on other projects that I have. But I do want to do a membership at some point where everyone can kind of come together. I'm a really community-driven person.
Yeah.
And so I am trying to put together for next year a meetup for all the moms to like come together. And we were thinking Charleston, but now I'm thinking the time of year that we're going to go, it's just going to be too bloody hot. And so I don't know where it's going to end up being. But so that's what I'm planning for next summer. And I just want to get together with like my followers. And I know that sounds so weird to say, but I just want to meet people in real life. And I just love connecting with people. So that's like one thing that's like on the horizon. I do want to put together a membership where people can all come in together and like ask questions. I can do monthly webinars and like teach more in depth on certain airline programs and things.
That would be so worth it if you're able to like help people get great trips for their family for just a membership fee, and they're learning how to do the system themselves.
Exactly. And I think to have that one-on-one support of like someone you can ask all your questions to is just so invaluable. And then I really love the idea of working with other female entrepreneurs to help them learn how to maximize the points that their business are using. Mm-hmm. So I have a friend who they have a business out of Long Beach, and it's like a transportation company. Yeah. And we were talking about it, and she's like, okay, I have this card and this card and this card. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you spend a month on gas? And she was like, oh, $20,000. And I was like,
what did she do?
I was like, okay.
That's a lot. There's a lot of points going to waste there.
I know. And I'm like, okay, well, at bare minimum, you need to use this card because that's 2x on gas. So at least you're earning 40,000 points a month instead of 20,000 points a month by putting it on whatever card she was putting it on. So just little nuances like that can really impact how many points you're bringing in as an entrepreneur. And so that's one thing I would love to do. So yeah. There's a lot of ideas.
Well, I will say, so, I mean, you're meeting one of your followers today.
Yes,
we only know each other from Instagram. And then I also have a networking group for women entrepreneurs, hopefully. And I would love to bring you in to talk to them because I feel like that would just be the start of your snowball, right?
Yeah.
So that's so cool. And we didn't even touch upon my business credit card, so we'll talk about that offline. But
we will.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how much do you travel during the year?
Let me get my phone out, not to be unprofessional.
It's okay.
I'm gonna look up my trips I had this year because it's a lot. And again, keep in mind this is my job, so don't I feel like it's so easy to also look at people that you see online and like compare your life to them. But so this year I did one night at a hotel by Disneyland, mostly because I wanted to like compare it to the one I usually stay at. So I just did that one night. My husband and I did one night in San Diego. I went to San Antonio for a weekend. We went to Hawaii for 7 days. I had to go home to Illinois. I was there for 2 weeks, moving my grandfather out here. So that was a big chunk of March. I went to Portland for my friend's graduation. We did a staycation in Irvine, a staycation in Long Beach. My husband and I did Santa Barbara. We did Oceanside, Walt Disney World, and I'm going to New Orleans.
Oh my gosh.
And then
amazing.
And I'm going to Legoland for my son's birthday in November. So a weekend out in Carlsbad. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit, but again, it's a lot of short stays, and this is my job. So I do as much as I can to maximize and really show people. My next year probably won't be as heavy, but we'll see.
Well,
I say that, and then I start booking trips, so we'll see.
You're gonna have to be sharing all the tips about the airports and everything too, because you must know your way around an airport like nobody's business.
Yeah. I was starting to teach my 6-year-old on one of our last trips. I'm like, okay, our gate is like E6. Like, which way do we go? And like looking at signs and stuff. So it's good to teach them young too. But yeah.
I think I mean, I can personally say that traveling with little kids, mine are 4 and 6, so similar enough. It's gotten a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot, right?
Do you have pre-check?
We do.
Okay, because that alone was one thing that I never took the time to get, and as soon as I had it, I was like, this is life-changing. Like, what was I doing?
No, that helps for sure. But I mean, it was just comical, like when we would go to Hawaii when they were littler, and like it was like the strollers and just all the stuff you had to bring. It was like people would look at our luggage and think we were like moving there. Like, no, we're just going on vacation for a week.
I know. We did Hawaii this year entirely on points. So we did 2 nights at the Disney Aulani Resort out in...
Oh, that's a nice place.
Yeah. So we did 2 nights there on points. A big tip for anyone who wants to do any Disney stays is to rent DVC points from the DVC members. So they're like the Disney timeshare people. I'm going to go ahead and do a shout out for them because I love them, but the Pixie Point Gals, they're like a... female-owned brokerage, and they rent out their points and other people's contracts points. So our 2 nights there would have been $1,600. Then by renting it, it was only $780. Ooh. So it was like 50% off the cash rate just by renting from them. And then I used points to like offset that cost. Mm-hmm. So that's how I made it free. But even if you're just someone who's like, I'm okay paying the cash, always look into DVC. Go check them out. They're amazing.
Good to know. Noted.
So, yeah. That was initially my plan for Disney World until we ended up using the Marriott certificates. So, but yeah, you can do it there. You can do it at like their Hilton Head location, like all those different ones. And then we did 5 nights on Maui at the Hyatt Regency Maui.
Oh, wow.
Hyatt is hands down. There's only one bank that transfers to Hyatt, and that is Chase, and they are the best program. You will get the best bang for your buck. And so we did 5 nights there. I'd have to double check my math, but I mean, it would have, and we did a room for my mother-in-law also. So we booked 2 rooms. And then they also have what they call a club lounge there where they do like a free breakfast. They do afternoon snacks. They do hors d'oeuvres in the evening. So, I mean, even 3 of the nights, that was like our dinner. So we saved so much money on food by staying there too. And the pool was amazing. So we're actually going to Kauai in this coming February. And so we're doing 6 nights at the Grand Hyatt Kauai. Ooh. So that will be all completely free. Hyatt is the only other one that does the $0 for the resort fees and taxes.
Oh, cool. Okay. So that'll save you hugely.
Yeah. And then I think we're going to do Maui again next summer.
It's like we're addicted too. Yeah, it is beautiful. And it's also a trip that you probably wouldn't have been so likely to take a whole lot from like the Midwest. Right. Like we are such a good location, and like you said before too, California alone. Like I've never been to the top of California. Yeah. Like it's far, but there's so much that you can do in just our state. Yeah. I think that's part of what makes it a fun place to live. I mean, you relocated here and love it. Me too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I want to make sure we don't miss out on seeing where people can find you online so they can follow you, get your tips, and stay, on top of everything that you're doing, because it sounds like you've got some exciting stuff ahead.
I do. So Instagram at jamie.travel.tips. So you can find me there. I do have a website, jamietraveltips.com. It is very in the works. I putting up blog posts is much harder than I anticipated when I originally built the website. So it's in the works. It is my 2026 goal to work on my website more. So those are pretty much the only 2 places. You can find me on TikTok also at Jamie Travel Tips, but there is nothing posted there yet. I am just holding the space for when I have more capacity to open up for it.
Yeah, I know. TikTok is a beast. Yeah. I live on Instagram right now. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
I really do. I love it. I feel comfortable there. Yeah. So eventually I'll get over there.
That's actually a really good wrap it up sequence to like live where you love. Live where you love. You'll You love Instagram, you live there.
Exactly.
You love Southern California, you live there.
Exactly.
So, well, Jamie, thank you so much. You've got
Yes.
so many amazing tips. I know I'll be sharing them with many people, and I'm going to get you into my networking group because I think a lot of people there would benefit from that too.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.